is going to be damn good for China, because we are in an arms race on clean energy with them. Are you going to be on the side of people who want to unravel this?
Senator Wyden, just so we can frame this for everyone in the room, China will build 100 new coal plants this year. There is not a clean energy race. There is an energy race.
Ooh, that was a good exchange. Scott Bessent could soon take the reins as Treasury Secretary, and he's coming out swinging. At his confirmation hearing, Bessent didn't shy away, delivering a blunt reality check to Democrat senators. Joining us now is Steve Moore, Unleash Prosperity co-founder and former economic advisor to the Trump campaign. Steve, I know that you loved that exchange. I do too, and the reason why is because Scott Bessent is reframing the question. You want good answers, you ask better questions, and that's what he's doing in the hearing. Your thoughts?
Couldn't agree more, Brian. And by the way, I did think Scott Bessent had an incredible performance. You know, these hearings are really about gotcha moments where the Democrats try to, you know, get someone to slip up or say something that's stupid or not popular and then use it against them. But there's not one thing. There was no gotcha moment. And in fact, if anything, the gotcha moment was the takedown of Ron Wyden by Scott Bessent. And he's right, by the way. We get 83% of our energy from fossil fuels. There is no green energy transition going on in the U.S. or virtually anywhere in the world except Europe, which has flatlined their economy. And Scott Bessent was right that the Chinese are built, every time we shut down a coal plant, the Chinese build 5. That's not going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And I love this kind of put America first tone of what Scott was talking about.
You know, Steve Moore, what I'm calling you is my myth buster. I love it. Every time people come out on the left and say tax revenue falls when you cut corporate tax rates, you come out with a chart the next day and you bust all the myths. You're doing it similarly when you talk about households that are going to be facing an additional $3,000 if these tax cuts then aren't extended. Again, how important is it to make sure that the middle class does not experience that?
Has to get done. And that's another point that Scott made loud and clear. There is no option for failure here. We have to get this done. It's so important to repeat over and over again, you know, to Americans that if nothing is done, then as you just said, the average family will pay $3,000 a year more in taxes. I don't think that's going to be very popular given how financially stressed out Americans are. But not just that, you know, the business tax cuts, one of the things that's being phased out already is what we call the corporate expensing, where if a company buys a plant or equipment or machinery, they're able to write that off. That's called investment. That's what creates jobs. You guys know that. And so it's been a huge spur to the economy. Well, that would go away if this tax bill is not extended. So there are so many kind of great features of this bill. I'll mention another one. You know, we doubled the standard deduction in the 2017 bill, and that means that 91% of Americans no longer have to itemize their deduction. It was one of the greatest tax simplification measures ever. If you take that away, then all of a sudden people are going to have to keep all the receipts. They're going to have to, their tax forms are going to be much more expensive and more cumbersome to deal with. And one other one, people don't realize, we almost completely eliminated, do you guys remember the alternative minimum tax?
Yes.
Remember that one?
Yep.
Well, we didn't completely eliminate it, but we almost did. And so the number of people who had to pay this evil second tax was cut by 90%. Well, guess what? If Congress doesn't get their act together, you're going to have millions of Americans pushed into the alternative minimum tax again.
Yeah.